Texas Governor Greg Abbott is following through on one of his threats, which was to cut funding to the Texas Legislature and their staff. This was in retaliation to Democrats walking out to break quorum on his controversial voting bill. Here to talk about this is Travis County GOP Executive Director Brian Ruddle and Glenn Smith from Progress, Texas. Now, this weekend, the governor again vetoed the budget item that funds the Texas Legislature and their staff. Glenn Smith, does this do good or bad? What comes out of this?
Well, first, let's recognize what it is. Under the Constitution is the executive branch, one of the three branches of government, deciding to defund or erase another branch of government, in this case, the legislature. Next time it could be the judiciary if Governor Abbott's successful in this. I just imagine with me what would be going on around the nation right now if President Biden decided he'd had it with Congress and vetoed Congress's budget so he could do whatever he wanted. That's what Abbott has done here in Texas. It's clearly unconstitutional, and it might even be criminal bribery since he's offered to pay legislators if they'll do what he wants. He really should pull back on this because it's offensive to lovers of democracy everywhere.
Glenn, do you think this is actually going to happen, legislators not being paid?
Well, we're going to see what happens. He hadn't called the special session yet, but first I want to say with respect to Brian that quorum breaks have been going on since there were quorums in legislative bodies in the 17th century. I found an interesting one in 1901 where members of the legislature bolted because they didn't want a bill to pass, and they went to a comic opera in 1901. There was a subsequent investigation by the legislature who found they had comported themselves as gentlemen and distinguished representatives in breaking that quorum. This is nothing new. It's a traditional use in settings where it's the only remedy. So, I mean, this stuff from Abbott about they walked off on the job, actually, I'm a Democrat, I'm a constituent. They were protecting my interests by doing what they did. They weren't abandoning them. They were working on my behalf.
Glenn Smith, final word on this.
Well, let's think about the threat. Whatever might happen, whether this money is reappropriated in special session or not, a governor has decided that his power transcends the other branches of government, that if he wants to threaten their pay until they do what he wants, that's a legitimate use of power. But it is not under the separation of powers clauses of the Texas Constitution or the U.S. Constitution. He should back up and end this threat.
Okay, well, so far the governor has not blinked. We are out of time. Glenn, Brian, as always, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you all.